was thinking hats. He
That
was
that was
supposed
that's
to.
part
Okay.
of the SEP.
Okay.
That's totally different. This is what we learned about the differences between
Dragon.
Andra and Peter. And I took you. We touched. I said we will be doing this next week. Adult learning theories. There are many different adult learning theories, part of andragogy: right brain, left brain, multiple intelligence, AAL, that is adaptive learning. Then there's something which the American army and most armies in the world do: action review. After action review, there's something called 70-20-10, attention span, Dale's cone. So what I want to start with you guys at, which is beneficial to our business: adults business cone 70-20-10. Let me take you there directly. Because Ella just has a little time with us. Now, this is Dale's cone of experience. This is an adult learning methodology developed by a psychologist by the name of Dale. And it shows us how people are able to retain knowledge that has been given to them, how people do remember things. It's not only for the trainers, it's also for the supervisors. And let's see the basic difference: how people are able to understand, people are able to coach, people are able to relate, people are able to explain, define, people are able to explore, they are able to do different verbs. You see everything in the people able to column and the side: define, describe, list, explain. These are all verbs, these are all actions: demonstrate, apply, practice, analyze, design. These are all part of uh, the Bloom's taxonomy. We are not talking about Bloom's taxonomy today. We will not touch that topic, but these are relatable actions. Once you have knowledge, you are able to relate to it. But more so ever, what I want you to understand is the people, how people remember. And now let us start up with the the quantitative methods on the left hand side. They were The people are able to relate or remember or recollect 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, 50% of what they hear and see, 70% of what they say and write, 90% of what they say as they are doing a thing. Now, here I'm going to come back to your faces. I want to watch your faces when I have shared this. 90% of when they are speaking, when they are doing an action. What does that mean? Now, translate this into our day to day training or coaching or a feedback or whatever.
90% when they are speaking action, and what was the third one?
It's written there on the screen.
Bottom left, bottom left.
Numbers no. Okay, it's like when they repeat the thing what you want him to learn.
Mm.
So you ask him to do the same thing in front of you, maybe.
Mhm. So is describing what you are doing. He does the editing and describes to you what he is doing, and then he remembers 90% of that.
Yeah.
Because people remember and learn by doing. This is at the base of the pyramid. You have design, perform a presentation, do the real thing. So again, we come to the same topic where practice is king.
But not only
Practice.
merely practicing, they explaining it to you, they speaking to
Yes.
you. That is one of the
Yes.
most important thing
Practicing
that we are
and
missing out.
practicing and talking about what they do.
Mhm.
But you can talk about what you do if you do it. So if the practice is not there, then the talking is not there. This is
True.
my point. So
So, what would be an active method of doing this? And now this is the supervisors. What would be an apt method of running this particular Dale's cone? Right now, we are doing half of it. We are having Bipin showing the screen and explaining things to people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Now, what would be
Yeah.
even better? This is at least 50 to 70% improvement.
Yeah.
If you see the cone,
Yeah.
50% of what they see in here. But if you want them to get even much more better at what Bipin is doing, they should repeat the same thing that Bipin has done after Bipin has done it.
Mm.
So this means that they have to edit and explain to Bipin what they do
Yes.
while editing.
And why they're doing it.
Yes. So this instead of 30%, which is people learn 30% of what they see, they will learn 30% from Bipin because they watch Bipin, and they will learn 90% by doing themselves and explaining what they are doing and why.
And Bipin giving them a real-time rounder. No. Increase 10% here. Do this thing 5%. Do 4% here. Do 3% here. Do 2% here. Do 10% here.
Mhm.
Yes,
Sorry.
right. This is what we are right now following in the trainings also. As I discussed with the Georgi in the morning, that Georgi was showing me some editor's picture and he was facing the same issue again and again. Then I asked him to just ask his editor to do the screen share and edit one picture from row to final, and by explaining it like what he's doing and why he's putting out the values, so that Georgi can see where he's lacking and at what point of time he's making the mistake, and he can correct him at that point of time.
Brilliant.
In that way, we can tackle the situations which are coming continuously.
And remember, guys, this is something which we have discussed earlier in the training team. This particular philosophy is to get them into a verb, into an action. If you see the cone, if you see the triangle, there are actions which are written here. What people ideally, how they do in order to retain knowledge or retain memory or learn something. If I tell Sahil to prepare a PPT presentation on, say, train the trainer, Sahil will go learn the topic. Sahil will see other train the trainer PPTs, will come back, will work on the PPT, and will make something, and he will become an expert in that, because his actions, his deliverables, and actions mean his what he's doing, the verb. Remember, your the verbs are very important in our day-to-day lives. We will have a separate section of training where we'll understand our actions or our verbs. Our verbs determine us. Right now I am speaking, you are listening, so this is also a part of a verb. I don't want to go into depth right now about the verbs part because it will confuse you, but however, understand that you have to associate the learnings of a person, how the learnings would benefit, because any learning, any dissemination has to have a collaborative or an explanation or an outcome of how people learned, of what people learned, what is the takeaway. Without the takeaway, no learning, not necessary training, no learning will be beneficial. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say, guys?
Yes.
Right point. Yes.
Okay.
I want to bring in front of you now. I would like to bring in front of you now that this applies not only to the editors. This applies on yourself as well.
Yes.
So yourself, in order to grow, and ourselves, actually, everybody in the screen, in order to grow, in order to learn new skills, whatever those skills are, editing, feedback, behavior, time management, whatever things are, we have to practice, do the action. And okay, speak about the action. It's a plus that will bring you to 90%, will bring all of us to 90% of retaining actually and being able to do. So when everything, all the theoretical concepts that Abid and myself and other people are bringing in front of you, they are zero if they are not put to action. Yeah, it can. They are not zero. They are 20%. It's good. 20% is not a bad percentage, but it's not 90%. So feedback, you have to practice it. There is no other way around it. And all the stuff. Yeah.
Okay, the second thing that before Ella goes, that I want to talk to you about, and I'm doing it quickly. We will. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the second one of the there are 7. There are more than 7, but learning theories or learning methodologies. But we are going to talk only about 2 because Ella is here right now, and Ella should be seeing this as well because Ella is also well entrenched in methodologies. How many of you know what is Pareto's? It's a quality tool. Rhythm, do you know what is Pareto?
Nope.
A Pareto chart, the Pareto table.
Nope.
I'll
Nope.
give you a hint about it. I'll give you a brief about it. I may be wrong. Ella can correct me. Pareto is the 80-20 principle.
Mm-hmm.
And the basis of Pareto, the 80-20 principle, about 20% people having 80% of the wealth of the world, or 20% of the people who are correct, who are making 80% of the mistake that is happening. And the Pareto table determines the bottom quartile. When you're talking about 100% of people in an action plan, it's 20 people who are bringing down the rest of the 80%. I may be wrong about it because this is something which I learned years back, but the basis of the 80-20 Pareto's table, of the Pareto's methodology of evaluation, is based on a learning methodology. So sometimes you have theorems. If I give you a basic example, a theorem based on a theorem.
The 80-20 is correct. You can see the chart here, but Pareto refers a lot to the cause effect type of things.
Correct.
So 20% of the things have an effect on 80% of the things. 20% of effort can give you 80% benefit. And it can run 80% of the team has good results, 20% of the team doesn't, or vice versa. So it applies to many things in life. Many, I think everything is touched by this.
True.
Yeah. So it's the same. It's the same with learning. Learning, 80% of learning is done by experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
Here the breakdown is 70-10, 70-20-10.
70-20-10. That is the basis of everything. It's
yes.
You could say this is the basis of Pareto, or you could say Pareto is the basis of this, or whatever the criteria. It's 70% of the learning comes from on the job experience.
Sorry, Abid, I just want to say something because the link is it came into my mind and the link is powerful. I might forget.
Go ahead.
Think about the rejections. 80% of our rejections are about color. 20% of the reasons color generate 80% of the number. So if we fix color casting, which is 20% in our or whatever, we fix many problems. this is the exact effect that we have. So, and this 80-20 can, do you remember Abid told you some time ago about low hanging fruits? This is the bullet or the gun. You can hunt low things. If we fix color casting in this company and then brightness, we are done. I mean, yes, we can keep improving. So this is, it applies to many things. Sorry, Abid, go on.
Perfectly fine. So this is this is a common concept of everything in the world. If you see the 80-20 principle, why did I touch this topic about it? Because you can relate it. Remember relativity. When you're relating things, you understand better. So 80% of the wealth in the world is controlled by 20% of the people, as per Pareto's.
Or less.
Or even
Yeah,
less,
it
yes.
could be homeless. Yeah, it's a fact.
20% of the effort, for example, effort you put into one-to-one meetings with your editors, give an 80% effect, meaning that they don't ask questions, they are clear during the day and so on and so forth. So all the time. It applies to, it applies also to, let's say, doing things right. This is one of my favorite. I for myself, I say it's fine if I do things right 80% of the time. 20% I can be wrong, I can make mistakes, I can forget, because it's that 80% that matter. It's the meat that, there is the power. The 20% is, and it's as for, you can apply it if you feel it's powerful. For me, it's powerful to do things right at 80% of the time.
I would just like to give a small example to all the supervisors and trainers. It's the same thing which I have learned in my journey, that if a picture looks good enough, beautiful enough, sometime a client can actually leave its bits of minor mistakes. Even I would not notice it. So it's just the major essence that you would take. And yes, the 20%, if you can leave, the 80% would work and it will show your results. It's just.
And this is to complete Ridima, this is a statement for which I have taken a lot of battles in my life. Sooner is better than perfect.
Yep.
And it applies very well to editing.
Yep.
Instead of spending half an hour to make an image perfect, 100%, it's better to spend 10 minutes and give it 80%. I don't know if Owen agrees with this. It's just my
Owen will never agree to that.
Owen says spend 12 minutes and make it perfect. Okay.
One says 8 minutes. Spend 8 minutes per image.
Yes. Okay. He's the CEO. He will say spend 10 minutes and make it 100%. Sure. But
guys, remember when you were in school, when you were a child and in school and in college, you had examinations, correct? Examinations.
Yes.
Out of 100, what was the passing point?
50.
33. 33.
35. It cannot be 33. It's got to be 35 because of the meridian factor.
35
33,
from 100.
If you get 35,
So
you're
low.
passed. That is a child, or if you understand the learning capabilities that you need to know 33% or 35% of the whole syllabus to be clearing it. Now, when you become an adult, when you go to work in an office, what is the methodology? Out of 100, you have to score 80% to pass. Otherwise, anything below 80% is a failure. Now, this is a very good example of the difference between andragogy and pedagogy. Understand, for a child, learning comes a little rapidly. It is not easy for a child to understand. The more you mature, the more your mind gets better, the more choices you have in learning, the more choices you have to understand. Your expectation of what people or what the life expects from you increases. So instead of 35%,
I will close now. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Bye.
Sure.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye
So,
bye.
as a child, 35% was your passing grades. As an adult, it is 80%. As an adult, the world expects you to learn quicker, but that is not exactly how things happen. So have you understood the 70-20-10? No, I haven't explained it to you. 70% of the people in this world, are you able to see the screen, guys?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
They get
Yes, sir.
experience or they learn through on job or from challenging projects or from physically doing things and explaining it. If you mix both the Dale's competency modules and the 70-30, it is 70% of the people, that is how they learn. That is 90%, this is 70%, but this is a group of 70 people, of 100. 20% of the learning comes from informal learnings, like asking colleagues,
Yeah.
observing others, networking.
Mhm.
What Bipin is doing right now.
Mhm.
And 10% of the learning comes from attending training courses.
Mhm. It's very, very low, but it's real.
So you see where we are lacking as training, as a training function. Or,
Yes.
and this is another theory, we will talk about it some other time. It's 20% of attention, 10% of reinforcement out of 40 minutes. We are talking about Dale's cone, and we're talking about 70-30. These are important methodologies. If you understand the methodology, because it's not rocket science. As a supervisor, as a trainer, you will be leading people, you will be leading their minds.
Yeah.
Okay, so how you manage their minds, how do you manage your people? This is very, very important, and you understand it. We have a lot of other theories also. When I started off, left brain, right brain, how you identify adult learning theories, sensory, visual. I didn't think we did this last week.
No.
Oh, no, this is
We
what we
didn't.
did last week. Andragogy,
Yeah.
pedagogy. So let us talk about Dales and 70-30 today. Any questions so far? Anybody?
Uh, my opinion is that you tell us, Abid, is that our trainees, as soon as possible, we should go on the live jobs or live practice because they will
No, the practice
study
and
and
live
develop
job,
much
Georgi, is
better.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
But how? It's how.
We can do simulation about the live jobs.
Simulations, correct. How simulations?
Because if for example, if I have a live job, we can get copy another editor this live jobs and do they same what I'm doing. And
Georgi,
yes.
yes, we are in a process of doing so. So soon we should be able to develop the complete website where we will be able to duplicate these live jobs to
Yeah.
those who want.
It will be great, Abid. And
Yeah.
if my partner or my opponent who is doing the same job, if his photos is better than me,
Yeah.
let's go his photos and go to the
Abid,
client.
can you explain what you said? I didn't understand you.
Yeah, so we are in a phase of developing this, duplicating a live job and to assign it to someone who is we would want it to be practicing it.
No, that's
So
okay, and that's understandable. Yeah, I understood that. Thank you very much. I didn't understand the context of what Georgi was saying.
That was the context what Abid said. Abid said.
No.
Yeah.
I
This was the
understand that. Okay,
yeah.
Georgi, I didn't understand. Okay, let me now come back here. I didn't understand your context. How is that going to benefit our learners, our
No,
batches, our editors?
as per the Dale's cone, like you said, 70% peoples get from the
live learning, right?
90,
Then
90%.
90%, yeah, they get. So this is, I think, what he wants to say, I think.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So them doing what them learning by doing what Bipin does right now, like we spoke a couple of minutes back. After Bipin training them, after Bipin explaining them, then Bipin picking up one person and say, okay, this is a picture. Now show me how this picture is done. What will you do? And then the editor working on the picture, giving an explanation. You know, this is what I do. This is what I do. I find that this is what it is too warm. I want to reduce the warmth. And then Bipin says, okay, how much will you reduce it? Then I'll reduce it 30%. Bipin lifetime tells him, the editor, you know, 30% is too less. Do try manually typing in 40%. No, it's still, what do you feel? It's still a little warm. Okay, reduce the warmth. Say, type in 50. So that type of training where the on job, the hands-on experience by explaining when the corrector or the teacher or the trainer corrects at the real time will help that person learn more better. Let me give you a very simple example of this. We are all in a class. Okay, we are all in one class. I am the teacher. I told you, team, tomorrow learn the national anthem and come to class. I will ask you all to say the national anthem in front of everybody. So everybody goes home for homework, they learn the national anthem, they come to class. Now I ask Deep, stand up, say the national anthem. And I'm going to say the Indian national anthem. You probably will have different national anthems. So Deep will stand up and say, Jana Gana Mana Badhinayak. The teacher will say, no, Deep, it is Adhinayak. Jaya He Bharat Bhakta Vidhata. No, Deep, it is not Bhakta, it's Bhagya. Bhagya, there's a difference between Bhakta, that means running, and Bhagya means fate. Guys, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Completely.
Bipin,
Right.
Lalit, Arun,
Yeah.
Yes,
Deep.
yes,
Yeah.
right.
Now that Bipin has, Deep has been corrected
Again.
live, doing a
On the
live job.
spot. On the
There
spot.
is, okay, there is a drawback about it. There is a drawback. What? Deep can feel bad because in front of the whole class, teacher is correcting him.
Yeah, it is
That is one
it-
drawback.
yeah, it is like humiliating kind of thing. So
It's like
we'll
a humiliation. So,
yeah.
what is the responsibility? How do you eradicate it?
Mm,
The
One by
trainer,
one.
the teacher has to have such a good bond before this training or before this teaching, right at the beginning of the training, that there should be a very good bond or very good understanding between the teacher, the supervisor, and the pupil, or the editor, or the trainee, that such kind of differences don't come up.
Or if they come up, they don't affect you.
It's not effective
Yeah.
because Deep knows that Abid is correcting me. This is
For
Abid's
my own
principle,
benefit. Yeah.
and
for
it's
my-
for my benefit. So
Yeah.
Deep knows it. The rest of the team knows it. The rest of the team will not make fun of Deep at the end of the batch. Hey, Deep, bhagta vidata. Hey, tu bhi bhag ja. Deep, no one will say that. Lalit will not say that to Deep. This is the secret. Team, this is the secret of how you bond with your team. Be it in your batches, be it in your teams. But believe me, Deep will ever say, till the time Deep is alive, will never say Bhakta Vidata. I'm letting it sink in. Abid, why are you looking so confused?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Even you ever said Bhakta Vidata?
Never.
But remember, there's a lot of things that come or there's a lot of failures that come because of us as supervisors, as trainers, as heads of department, because we do not know our teams, because we have never set ground rules, we have never reached out to our teams. Let me bottom line this a little bit more. Let me sediment it. You know what is sedimentation, right, team? If there is, if
No,
you take
no, I
out
don't know.
water, if you take out water from the sea or from a river and you put it in a glass, that water will have sand.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
The
It will
sand will
settle
have to
down.
set down.
Yeah.
So this is called sedimentation. So the
Uh-huh.
sedimentation factor that I want to tell you right now is about our egos.
Mhm.
About our egos.
It's nothing but egos, ego, perception.
Yeah.
If as supervisors, if as the people in power or people who have uh, control over things, if we do not take care of this,
Mhm.
believe me, we will never be successful. If you want to do something, you can do, guys. It's nothing great. It's not rocket science. If you feel that you want to do it, you will be able to do it. But at what cost? A good example is, guys, you see that during the dip check in our teams, I'm giving a real life example about it. Our editors in the dip check are working on images in under 15 minutes or under 12 minutes. Is that correct?
Yeah.
But in day to day, they're taking 20 minutes, 25 minutes per image. What does that show? What is the reading out of this?
That they are not very conscious about their work during
If you put a gun onto
irregular
your
work.
head, you can make a lot of things happen.
Yeah.
But is that right? Angelica, is that right?
No.
Georgi, is that right?
I don't know. Is it right
Mikhail,
or
is that
not?
right?
Maybe.
The gun has to be beautiful enough
You know,
to look at.
sometimes,
Guns N' Roses.
sometimes it is good because why? Because the main thing is editor have to understand first of all that this is actually they're just they're working in a serious condition. First of all, it is not like a fun area for them. Yeah.
Okay, the gun has to be beautiful.
Sometimes no. Sometimes sometimes
Guns N' Roses. It has to be Guns N' Roses.
silencer on it.
So you mean if the gun is beautiful, I don't mind dying. See the concept behind it. If the gun is beautiful, the gun has flowers on it. Okay, go ahead, Ridhima, shoot me.
No,
I
if
don't
it
mind
doesn't,
dying
if
because the
it
gun is
doesn't have the
beautiful.
bullet, it just have the water.
Mm.
That's not the case. That's not the case. This is a failure as a supervisor. This is, I will never blame the batch. I will never blame my trainees. I will, because remember, we as supervisors are already one notch up. We have climbed the first staircase. We are above them. So it is our responsibility to lift them up, share our knowledge. But I know it's very easy, it's very difficult. Egos come into place. The moment or the time we are able to control our perceptions, our egos, we will become superlative leaders. We will become exceptional leaders, not bosses. Anyone can become a boss, but it's very rare for a person to become a leader.
Mm.
And the moment you can understand that what is this 90%, understand this 90% completely, that you are giving them the chance to prove themselves. You're giving them the opportunity to showcase what they know without being discriminating, without you telling, ha, you don't know anything, you're an idiot. You tell that this 90%, they will learn it, but you will be creating a different ball game for them. This will go into a total different compartment. it will have sorry, I bit my tongue. It will have a resentment. I still have not yet taught you. I have not talked about high performer, low performer. When you're talking about, we have talked about quadrants. We have talked about quadrants. Remember the quadrants, the 4 quadrants? Can anybody tell me about them? Team, what are the 4 quadrants?
About
Right, that what the what that?
What are the 4 quadrants?
Horse. What was that horse?
Problem child.
Yeah,
Problem child,
Workhorse.
yeah, exactly. Okay. Go on. Arun.
Yes. Star.
Deadwood.
Deadwood.
Can you see?
Uh,
Do you want me to share this with you guys? You have it or you have not? You don't have it.
No.
Don't have.
I shared it with all of you some time back. See in training materials.
Okay.
But I'll send it over to you again once more. I'll send it to Angelica. Angelica, you send it to everybody. Email it to
Yes,
everybody. Star, high input potential, high in performance. Now, if you do this with a person who's a star performer, if you do this activity, you try to ridicule him, what will happen? That person will leave the company and go. Because a person who is a high performer knows his worth. He will leave the organization and will go. If you're being biased, if you're being vindictive, that person will leave and go. Yes.
Sorry, Abby, did you send it to me in the
I will send it. I'll
Slack?
send it now. I'll send it now. I'll send it to you.
Sorry.
I haven't sent it now, but I'll send it to you in some time.
Okay. Thank you.
If you do this activity, or if you have this method where you're vindictive, if you're with a person who's a workhorse, low in potential, high in performance, what will happen? Abid, let me ask you.
Low in potential and high in performance. He may end up being a problem child.
Why?
Because his potential is good. His potential is low, but his performance is high. So at some time he may get.
He become high in potential by me ridiculing him in front of everybody.
Low boss in potential.
No, I mean, it may get a little difficult for him to be a more productive.
Okay. No, Habib, this is this isn't probably I didn't explain it properly. So if I'm ridiculing a person in my team and that person is a workhorse, using the methodology that we just discussed, the 90% of the Dale's cone, the example that I gave was the kind of example that was about the national anthem. If I ridiculed him and he felt bad about it, so a workhouse, what will happen to a workhouse?
He'll stop performing whatever
Exactly, Ridhima. He'll become a deadwood.
Become
Or
shy.
she will become a deadwood.
Yeah.
Because they will clamp down. They will go into a shell. They won't leave the job. Why? Because they are low in potential. So there is a possibility that they may start looking out for other opportunities. They may change jobs. Instead of being an editor, they may go and become a patrolman. They work in a petrol station. They may join a mall. They may become an auto driver. Whatever they become, they may change their profession. Or they may go into a shell. If you do this with a problem child, what will happen?
He'll be dead.
Same thing. He's high in potential and low in performance. They all become deadwood.
Mm.
So as supervisors, when you are talking, did I close it? Just give me a minute. When you're talking about a person high in potential, if you're talking about a person who has exceptional skills, and if you are a little bit more dramatic with them, or you're overbearing upon them, they will simply close up, or they will simply leave. So you may be the best of supervisors, but if you don't have control over your own emotions, if you don't have control over your own methodologies, people will start leaving you.
Yeah.
Mikhail, are you understanding what I'm saying there?
Yes.
Abid, what should we do? What should we do about if we have a star performer? How to
Make him
make them
useful.
yeah. How to aim this
Make
the
them
people
help
company.
others, make them polish their own skills, make them
Okay.
help their subordinates.
Okay,
It-
I am a star performer. I am a supervisor. I have a star performer like Bipin in my team. Now, me recognizing him as a star performer should be done in the beginning, right at the beginning of our understanding what type of a person he is. As a supervisor, as a manager, I should understand each and every member of my team. My methodologies should come across like I respect every type of performer. I respect all the 4 quadrants. However, my plans for them are different. That plan is only for myself. So if I have shouted at a high performer, a star, I should also shout at a low performer as well. So my behavior towards everybody should be the same. It is like a mother having 5 children. The mother's love for all the 5 children has to be the same. It cannot be different. Otherwise, you'll be creating a difference between the children.
Mhm.
So as a supervisor, when I have a star performer, my basics, my first steps would be to integrate and have my team trust me. My team should trust me. My team should understand me. Most important, my team should respect me. And my team will respect me only. Georgi, are you understanding?
Yes,
My
yes,
team will only respect me when I respect them.
Yes.
of course, of course.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
the
Yes,
mutual.
yes, Lord, yes.
Remember, one supervisor looks at 10 people in his team, but he forgets or she forgets that 10 people look back at him or her.
Mm-hmm.
So one mind is looking at 10 minds and 10 minds are looking at one mind. Who will be more? If you talk about math, the 10 mind will be looking at one mind. There are 10 minds. That is more quantitative. Amongst those 10 minds, you may have a super performer, you may have an Einstein, you may have a Pablo Picasso in the future, you may have a CEO of the future who's joined your team. But how you leave an impression in their minds is very, very important. So if I have this kind of a team, the first thing that I do is to make them feel respected, make them feel wanted, and tell them that this is a team role. This is a team that we are talking about. So every person has his or her responsibility in a team. In a car, if there are 4 wheels of a car, if one wheel goes, the car will not function. So everyone has to be explained this. Remember what I'm talking to you, Georgi, is the groundwork before before your behavior to one individual comes. If I'm going to do a quadratic equation, if I'm going to do indices, if I'm going to do something very big in algebra, my basic 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6. My multiplications has to be sound. My 20-floor building or my 100th-floor building, Burj Khalifa, has to have a sound foundation. That is to be strong. Get it? Be it a Burj Khalifa, be it the Great Wall of China, be it the Taj Mahal, be it the Empire State Building, or be it just a tin roof. Everything should have a strong foundation. In a team, what your foundation is, that how you behave with your team. That is the sound foundation. You give them respect, they will give you respect. You love them, they will love you. They make fun behind your back, but they will love you. At the time when you require them, they will stand for you. So that has to be strong. Now, once that is in place, you have a star performer. You should tell the star performer, not in direct words, buddy, I know who you are. I know what you can bring to this team. I expect maturity from you. I expect this. So you are doing expectation setting with everybody.
Mm.
But more so ever, you're doing expectation setting with your high performer.
Mm.
Georgi, understand what I'm saying? Mikhail, Angelica,
Yes,
are
Abhi.
you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
We are talking about train the trainer, but we have diverted off to SDP. No
Yeah.
worries, no worries about it.
Everything is interrelated. So yeah, it's all good.
So expectation setting comes into place. So tomorrow, Georgi, if I have additional work, I'll tell my high performer, boss, today I have a lot of extra work. And I trust and I know that you can do for this for me. I count on you on doing it. He will not say no to do that additional work for you. But as a supervisor, as a leader, if that high performer tells you one day, Georgi, boss, I have a date. Can I go half an hour early? Boss, my mother's not feeling well. I want to take her to the hospital. Can I? So this is where you cover up. You make him feel important. You don't have to inform it to him. But this is where your comradeship, this is where your brotherhood, this is where your uh, what did Barney Stimson say? Bro code or a female code. This comes into place. He will stand up and happily cut his own throat for you, figuratively speaking, if you have that bonding with your team members. But that does not mean that you do not have a similar bond with a low performer. You should have even one of the reasons why supervisors are they are not successful is because they discriminate between their teams. And it's a general trend, it's a human trend. So a low performer will feel isolated, will feel left out.
Mm.
What will they think? If I'm a low performer, Georgi loves Abid more. Georgi loves Bipin more than he likes me. Georgi is showing favoritism. Why?
Mhm.
Because Bipin is a high performer. I take time to learn. I'm a little fat-headed. My age is different. I'm of a total different age group. So that's the reason why Georgi likes him more. So that's where one iota of doubt starts. What did you write? She's gone? Ridhima's gone? Okay. So that's where the doubt starts germinating and grows. As a supervisor, you have to have equal love or equal liking for everybody. Georgi is vanished. But
Yes, I'm here.
if you have, but you should have different methodologies. You should have different. There's a saying in English: different strokes
Yep.
for different blokes. But never make it evident. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone has? Anyone has any questions about Dales? No, nobody has any questions about Dale?
No.
No.
I think we've covered a lot for one day. All these adult learning methodologies or theories will take a lot of time.
We have learned a tip from the Dale's observers.
This is the AAR. This is what the army used to do. American army used to do. This is a methodology. Yeah, you want to read it? I'll share it with you guys. I'll share this also with you if you want. But if you read more about it, it will be a little confusing. It's called the after action, the AAR, the A square R. We in the training we call it the A square R, after action review. You can use this methodology very successfully.
So it's like analyze all last
Exactly.
action.
So this is the formula. How to? They have 4 basic questions. You start off, what was supposed to do we do? So the supervisors ask the questions. What were we supposed to do? We were supposed to edit this image. We were supposed to do this. What this is. This is. What happened? What is the result? This was the result. This was the result. This is something ideally the supervisors could be doing every day, or especially after a dip test. Then the third question that is asked or brainstormed in the B, what were the differences? So every member of the team answers. Now, how will you do it better the next time? The supervisor asks the team. So this is the A square R method. There are also ADDIE, which I always talk about. Analyze, design, develop. People may like it. People may not like it. There are some people, many people for it, many people against it. But we are not. This is not an adult learning theory. This is a methodology. This is the process of learning. Analyze, design, develop, implement, evaluate. Then there are other methodologies, that is ISD, the 4Fs: fit for business, fit for learners, fit for learning. Then analyzation of ADDIE. So this is a part, an ongoing activity for.
You do this PDF file in 2012, Abid?
Abid bhai, can you please share
This
this?
is not mine. This is not mine. I have picked it up from a friend of mine. This is a friend of mine shared it with me. Usually what happens is, when you're talking about the training fraternity, there's a lot of subject matter that we can share. So if I have developed a module, I'll share it with somebody. If they have developed a module, they'll share it with me. If I have something constructive, I'll share it with someone. And likewise, I'll show you something which I had made. Give me a minute. Give me 1 minute.
It's a community of sharing and learning.
It is. It definitely is.
Can you please share it, because I couldn't concentrate. I was with Owen at the same time.
Today?
Yes, he's asking me something about the payments.
Give me a minute. I'll share it with you. Don't worry. Give me a minute. Let me just check. Remember a couple of time back I had taken you across lateral thinking. Okay, so this is something which I had made, and I had shared with a lot of friends of mine. Why do we need training? So I have, like I told you, remember, I'm stopping sharing. I had I have in my library, I have more than 35 or more than 40,000 you could say uh, material. I have PPTs, I have presentations, I
40,000?
have, yes,
Wow.
I have nearly 12 sorry, I have nearly 25 GB worth of data. I have an external drive which I have kept.
Data bank.
Data bank. It's called a library. I call it my library.
Yeah.
So today we learned
Share
about,
them, Abid. Make a copy.
sorry, I'll share
Share
you when I
them,
come.
Abid.
When you become a training manager, I'll give it to you. Don't worry. You know, there are people who sell it.
Mm.
People who have this database, they sell it. Lalit, you're not okay. Lalit is here. Who's left? Mikhail is here. Okay, Angie is here. Arun is here. Sahil is left.
Yep. Sahil and Ridhima was left.
Okay. So having a data bank is very, very useful. Having a resource of, you can start doing it for yourself as supervisors, as trainers, and you can revisit them all the time. Keep updating yourself. Remember, you know, a person tends to forget a lot of things. But if you revisit something that you've done, or if you've made, or if you've understood, your knowledge doesn't falter. So you see how certain methodology, it's very easy, it's not difficult. Every problem that there is in this world, we have a solution for it. The only thing is how we find that right solution and get it into place, or making it work. There is a solution for it. How quickly you can get the solution is very important. Georgi, I wanted to answer this to you, to your earlier question. You know, as a human being, if I want to have a burger, a chicken burger, I'm not going to talk about anything else, but if I want to have a burger, I have options depending upon how much I have in my pocket.
Yep.
I can go to a roadside hotel and have a burger. I can go to McDonald's. I can go to Jollibee, have a burger, or I can go to the most expensive Saint Tropez hotel and have a burger there. The difference is it may cost me $1, it may cost me $10, or it may cost me $10 million. So it is up to me, myself, of how much I can absorb. Depending upon my willpower, depending upon my capability. Very important word, capability.
Yeah.
So right, so this ends our session today. We learned a little, two important topics about the adult learning methodologies, and we have a lot to learn more. We will learn about it, and more so ever understand it. More so ever understand it. Angelica, are you eating a cone? Is that a cone in your hand? I thought I saw a cone in your hand. I thought you're having an ice cream. As a child, you can easily tempt as a child, you can easily tempt another child. You can drive another child by giving them, you know, do this for me, I'll give you an ice cream. Finish your homework off, I'll give you an ice cream. But as adults, we are not able to do that. If you are able to do that with your teams, great. Misha is looking sleepy.
No, I'm a little bit, but I'm listening to you very.
You know, as a trainer, if you when you're conducting training in classes, you know how to recognize a person who's stifling a yawn. When a person is, you know, yawning like this, when in a training session, you can't yawn openly. So people, what they do, this is how they yawn. The eyes change, you know, the mouth, they don't want to open their mouth. So as a trainer, you're easily able to find out who's stifling a yawn, you know, who's trying to sleep. Okay, so this ends a session, and who's recording? Can you stop recording and share it with the rest of us, please? Abid, I think you're doing it.